What's up? We back, Real Talk family, with another episode. I'd like to welcome you back to Real Talk and Real Estate. Of course, I'm your man, the Money Man, Smith. And of course, in the building with me as well, two gentlemen that really don't need no introduction. We have the philosopher. What's going on, player?
What's the deal, guys? Good to see y'all.
Good to see y'all on an audio recording. All right. We're going to let that roll. We're going to roll with that. We're going to roll with that. We get warmed up. We already know Closer's up in the building. What's up, Closer?
What's going on to all the family out there, all our peoples out there?
That's what I'm talking about, man.
It's hot, man.
We got some good topics.
We're going to talk about the weather, man. It's hot, man. It's hot, man. It's hot, man.
It's hot.
The Houston summer has made it here. And the reality of it is even though we're in the beginning of June, it feels like we're in the middle of August.
It do. Goodness gracious. It definitely do. I swear I was driving down the street and saw a camel crossing the road. It was so damn hot outside. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's real. It is real out here in these streets.
Why did the camel cross the road?
I'm saying. He lucky he didn't get hit because I was flying. I'm telling you, I was flying down the road. Game 6 tonight, though. Game 6.
Oh, yeah.
NBA Finals?
That should be a fun one. I think Kevin Durant thing is hard. It's hard.
Man, look. It's hard, but it's fair.
Did y'all get the little part that's coming out now that they say that the doctors and them stressed that it wasn't an Achilles, that it was a calf issue, which is why he went out on it. Even though when it first happened and they went in the locker room, the trainer had said, yeah, this is a calf issue, but it has got something to do with his Achilles. They had called it on day one, and sure enough, he'd go out there, and he was killing them. Look, he had 14, I think it was, in the first 12, 13 minutes.
He was hitting them.
Man, look, you instantly knew, so for all those doubters out there that didn't think Kevin Durant made a difference on that team, and don't get me wrong, I like the Splash Brothers, and that whole group without him, he made you could see it like, dang, these cats is deadly with him on the floor.
Yeah, this whole talk about, you know what I'm saying, them being a better squad without Kevin Durant was just hogwash. You know what I'm saying? I can't believe that was even a topic of discussion. Just because even though they was winning in the records and all that other stuff, it's like, come on, man. How you without the best player on the planet, honestly? And I say over LeBron. I said it.
Look. I think, too, that was a couple different combination pieces 3-4 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Think about it like this. Harrison Barnes was a baller. And over in Dallas, he in Dallas now, but he was in that first championship run they had, and he was just kind of coming into himself at that time. But he was a key piece. Yep. In
the dynamic of what they have going on. Yeah. But I think this is going to open up. This whole deal right here is going to open up a whole nother can of worms. And then it's going to change the game, in my opinion, because players are no longer going to trust the team doctor. The whole question is that who is the doctor most loyal to? And then that was the whole thing with Kawhi. That's why he had this whole thing in San Antonio. He got an independent opinion because he didn't trust the team doctor. And then they scolded him. For that, you know what I'm saying? Then that's how he ended up Toronto, and then and that's why he in the finals right now, good and healthy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then now Durant listens to the team doctors, and then now look at his position. Now it's going to become this thing where every athlete from this point forward is going to point to these two examples,
and they are valid to really say, I don't know whether or not you really care about me as far as my health is concerned, as far as me just living. Unless if I'm on the floor dropping 40, that's the only time you're really concerned about it.
Yeah. To me, if you a superstar in the NBA, maybe if you mid-level, low-level, whatever case may be, then you'll listen because you ain't got enough clout. But if you're a superstar, I don't think superstars moving forward is no longer going to listen to the team doctor.
Oh, no,
they're going to forever get. Oh, yeah. They're always going to get second and third opinions.
Most definitely.
They'll have their own personal doctor.
Yep.
That's always going to, after the team doctor look at him, well, he on staff.
Oh, yeah.
Like he on their payroll.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He'll be there, too, to check him out.
And then now, when that happens, GMs, owners, and everybody moving forward now have to determine how they're going to handle it. Because, you know what I'm saying, nobody's no longer going to listen to the team doctor. Man, we ain't worried about that. We're going to sit. Team doctor say you good. Well, my doctor say I'm not. I'm sitting. What you gonna do?
But you're not gonna start putting the verbiage in the contract pertaining to that. If the team doctor says you play, then you play, or you'll suffer a fine outside of what the NBA may charge. You'll suffer another type of fine, or you'll forfeit some of your guarantees a part of your contract.
They'll hurt the game if that's the case.
I think any good agent gonna tear that apart.
Yeah, ain't nobody doing that.
They're gonna push to mandate that they get a second opinion.
Oh, of course.
No matter what the team, if it's a major injury in any part of my body,
that
I get to have my own person. They're gonna start to implement that into the contracts, or they're gonna make them pay more money.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
And then you got to think too. There's a players' union. The players' union ain't gonna let them get away with that.
Yeah.
The NBA union ain't strong.
Not like the NBA.
What?
The NBA union is not as strong.
Yeah,
it still has a say so.
They have a say so. Don't get me wrong. They have a say so, but unlike like a baseball union. Hey, them Rascals, they get whatever they want, however they want it. However they want it. Yeah, I'm doing my rights. Hey, man, I need 3 strikes. If I get caught 3 times, then you put me out of the game.
I'll stop taking that to number 2. After I get caught second time, you know what I'm saying?
By the time you juice up that second time, you didn't got what? You didn't got your second multi-million-dollar deal contract.
Oh yeah,
all you doing already good.
And then you just retire like
come back like, hey, I'm sorry.
Homeboy say, you suspended me for 30 games. Good, I wanted to go to Aruba anyway. So I'll see y'all.
I see y'all after suspension.
I'll see y'all after suspension.
And then when they come back, I was sorry. I didn't, I wasn't really being aware of what I was taking, and I want to apologize to my fans and my teammates.
But you know what's
they signed them big checks, but I want to apologize to my fans and my teammates.
I'm tell you something. You know what's interesting? There's some stuff that's inside of simple stuff that we take every single day that they can't take. Certain cough medicines, certain that they get flagged for
because it's a banning substance, right?
Because it's a banned substance inside the cough medicine, right?
Not a banned substance, but it's a masking agent. That's the big thing. That a masking agent to mask the test for the steroids.
Which it seems like we seem to be talking a lot about trust,
right?
And which was probably a segue into
the topic for today, which is actually perfect. So you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to figure out the way. I mean, it's gonna be a controversial topic anyway we put it. But we want to talk about today why minority people don't necessarily feel comfortable with doing business with minority individuals, companies. Yep. Professionals is a better term. Professionals is a better term.
And it depends on the profession that you're in, too.
That's an easy.
What you mean? What you mean? It depends on professionals. Expound upon that.
You know, I don't know many people that's picking out. Having a hard time going to any doctor. Like, they don't care. As long as you know what you're talking about, and you can get me better, you know what I mean? For at least from what I've experienced over the years with even my family, they're like, cool. They don't care what nationality you are. They don't care anything. They just want to make sure you're doing it right.
Right.
Now you walk into a car shop, and you about to go buy, you go buy a new whip.
Whip, huh? But we lost all of you to go buy a new whip. What happened to a new vehicle?
The funny part about it, I think, for me is that as professionals, we do our best to put aside any thoughts we have, any feelings we have, anything, right? By law, we're supposed to be equal opportunity. You know what I mean? We're supposed to treat people equally. And I've seen cases where professionals don't do that in all different types of fields. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it's instantly wrong, right? And then the funny part about it is, as the normal consumer, like and let me just put myself in the position, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to go buy me a soda, a pop at a store, right? Mm-hmm. Don't we look at the different stores and we figure out which store we're going to go to in order to shop? Like, okay, we can go to this gas station here, and maybe it's dark out, and it's in the 50-50. It's in the 50-50 club and neighborhood, right?
Right.
Where it's not a bad neighborhood, but it ain't a fluent neighborhood either.
Right.
Or I can drive 2 more miles down the road and I can be in, well lit, affluent neighborhood and go to the same, and they got a store there.
Right.
Which one am I gonna do?
You're gonna drive. You're gonna drive that 2 miles. You're gonna drive that 2 miles. Yeah. But I'm saying it's all about it, and especially young black fathers like us, you know what I'm saying? We got a lot to think about. You know what I'm saying? You have to weigh those risks versus rewards. Now, of course, you know what I'm saying, we ain't got no problems stopping in the 50-50 spot if we just have to. But the chances,
or if it's just us.
Or if it's just us, right? But you know what I'm saying, the chances of something happening is less when you drive 2 miles down that way. So, when you playing at the casino, of course you want to give yourself a better chance to win. At least we feel that way. At least we feel that way. Because, you know what I'm saying, I think stuff happens all over the place. It ain't no telling. You know what I'm saying? But it's just about percentages and chances.
Man, look here. Pertaining to the 50-50 of the store, I do both. If I feel like riding, I'll ride down. If it's a true 50-50, then I know I can go in there and give me a pop for $1. If I give me a pop for $1, using your term, pop for $1, I'll stop. But if I'm not really looking for a pop for $1, I go down the way and go and pay that $2 for a pop.
Hold on. You mean to tell me 11, 12 o'clock at night, you willing to stop by there and get a pop for $1?
It's like 12 o'clock at night. It's never 12 o'clock now. They be like, I'm going to the Exxon. I ain't going to the corner store. I'm going to Exxon.
You talking about 2 in the afternoon, man. You don't reset this whole hypothetical.
I'm going to Exxon.
Everything looks decent.
Everything looks decent at 2 in the afternoon. Ain't no thing. I'm going to get real quick and run on out.
Yeah, I'm going to Exxon.
Make sure I like my nose pop.
I think the hardest thing, and I saw it a lot in Chicago, is in our community, and I'll talk about our community for a minute, because we know that us 3 are all African American. It seems to be, it's us, or I've experienced that it's challenging at times. Like, we got to work a little bit harder to convince our community at times that we're legit. Like, that we got the same tools and resources, and
it's the stereotypes.
Yeah,
the stereotypes. They think that automatically, because of the color of the person, they're getting less of a service.
So why do you think that is, Money Man?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
That's the easy one.
I think it's honestly from past dealings. Okay. From past dealings, and I give you a perfect example, right? You stop at Jack in the Box or McDonald's in certain neighborhoods, right? You don't get no, hey, hello, thank you for stopping by today. You don't get none of that customer service. What you want? And then if you change your mind on what you want to order, it's an attitude. You know what I'm saying?
I thought you said you wanted a Sprite. Yeah, you ain't got no Sprite. You got 7-Up.
Right? and be honest, you know what I'm saying? In majority of those situations, somebody already was at the window, right? You pull up to Chick-fil-A.
Bad example.
That's a great example. You pull up to Chick-fil-A. I talked to a person that manages a Chick-fil-A, and they have this criteria.
Yeah.
That is actually required for an employee to fit.
Yeah, they do.
It just happened to be that a minority, for the majority of the case, doesn't fit that because it's all about customer service. People will pass over McDonald's and Jack in the Box just to go get better customer service at a Chick-fil-A. For one thing, right? They ask you how you doing, have a great day. You know what I'm saying? It's the stereotypes of it, right? But the other thing is they ain't gonna get your order wrong. They ain't gonna get your order wrong, you know what I'm saying? And then not care. Just hand you your bag. And then just close the window on you and then turn around and walk off. It's just like, well, damn, is that it? Is that my whole order?
you didn't have some bad experiences.
Oh man! Hey, look! I think everybody had bad experience at fast food, right? And you stop at the wrong place at the wrong time. Now, let's go back to stereotypes. Now, the stereotype of my experiences have been like, this is the quality of customer service that I would get at fast food restaurants when I stop here and there's a minority working the window. Yeah. Not to say it's the same across the board. It's just through experiences. That's my experience. When I go to Chick-fil-A, it's like top level customer service. So, in saying that, I think a lot of people do that because of stereotypes and because of experiences.
But do you think the people in those neighborhoods per se, mm-hmm. at those particular burger joints, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. Do you think that's more of a circumstance that they actually living in the stereotype? Mm-hmm. Or do you think that's just a part of being in that neighborhood, that particular burger joint or whatever?
I think it's because I do think it's a combination of a bunch of stuff. I think it's a combination of the environment, because when you raised up in that environment, you raised with a little bit of a edge a little bit, right? You know what I'm saying? A little bit of a harder shell. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's due to the circumstance of your situation. You got to have a harder shell in order to kind of make it and survive that environment. I think the other thing is environment. I mean, not environment. The other thing is education. I think if you knew better, you would do better.
Okay.
No? Okay. And then if you had a manager to sit there and say, hey, look, man, you need to actually make sure you greet these people. You need to actually make sure you get the food right. You need to actually make sure you do that. You know what I'm saying? I think you make more of a conscious effort in order to do it. But when your manager don't care like you do, then it don't matter. there's no education there to kind of show you, you know what I'm saying, hey, look, you need to give better customer service.
Okay. Oh man, y'all crazy dog.
That's just my take on it. You know what I'm saying?
He jumped on that so quick. Bring on the Chick-fil-A. I'm like, dog.
That was a great example. You ever been to Chick-fil-A, dog?
Yes, I've been to
Chick-fil-A. Come on, man.
I've been to Chick-fil-A. Not that we plug a Chick-fil-A, unless they want to sponsor the program.
Yes, we'll get back to that later. Our EP will be in contact. Most definitely.
They got it down to that at the end of everyone that they say, Did you have great service? Or how can I service you? You're like, oh. And you know what's funny about it is the whole, like your demeanor changes too.
Oh yeah. You perk up.
Cause since you talked about Chick-fil-A, I figured I'll bring Chick-fil-A story in. I remember they was the first ones to be outside and it was hot.
Yes.
In the drive-through line.
Hey look, hold on, let me back up. They outside and can give better customer service than somebody sitting in the AC inside. How that work?
It's hot.
And it's hot out there.
They ain't got no air conditioning. And their whole purpose, they got 2-3 people out there. They 4-5 cars down, right? They 4-5 cars down, right? So what's so funny about that? This is what I talk about again is you can't necessarily do that in that environment that we were just talking about, right?
Right.
So in essence, it would be hard to have that same level of customer service. Per se,
right,
in that environment. But then this is where I go back to is why do we have a hard time working with us at times? Not that we have to pick,
right?
Not that we have to pick us per se,
right?
Because if you feel like there's someone better, like I was telling y'all pre-discussion. Mm-hmm. If you feel that you just trust this person, no matter whatever their nationality, ethnic background, if you just know them and you trust them, or you feel like this person's going to do better for you for whatever reason, mm-hmm. that's cool. But I done ran across, I'll give you an example. Okay.
All right.
I remember I worked for a builder many years ago. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I'm sitting down, and this is a true example. I'm telling you exactly how it went down. Right. Mm-hmm. This is not a figmentation.
All right.
I'm selling to a young couple, African-American couple. Mm-hmm. Now, when they came into the building, I was the only one there. And you know how it is at the builders, sales councils, usually you got 2 people there. But in this particular case, I was the only one there. Mm-hmm. So they had to work with me if they wanted right? So we sit there, we go through the process. They end up liking one of the houses. I'm like, cool. I sit down with them, and I could feel the little bit of tension the whole time. But I just, close and we just roll through it, right? I'm here to take care of you. We sitting down to sign the paperwork, and the mayor looks over at me and he goes, "Hey Walter, so tell me, how many black people live in this neighborhood?" This is a brand new neighborhood. I might have 40 houses built out at this time.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, in real estate, of course, we can't talk about demographics, any of that stuff. And so I explained to him, I said, well, we really don't, pay attention to that, your best bet is going to be to drive the neighborhoods on your time and you can see who lives where and what. He said, well, what about my house? I'm like, what do you mean? Well, is there one that lives next door on either side? Is there one that lives across the street? And I'm sitting there and I'm mind boggled. I mean, literally, I'm looking at him and I'm like, because at first, when he first asked me, I thought he was asking me because he wanted more African Americans in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
But what we got to at the end of the conversation was he wanted less in the neighborhood. And so, of course, I'm going to close the deal. I went and closed the deal, everything,
Kept it politically correct.
Yeah, I kept the PC. And after everything was said and done, I asked him. And what he told me was, he said, it's something about all of us being in the same neighborhood or being in the same vicinity, the care, the this, the that, all the stereotypes that we talk about, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he looked at me and he said, if you weren't the only one here that day that I came in to buy, I probably wouldn't be working with you. So now you gotta think, that's years ago, and I've always kept that story with me.
Right.
Because in my mind, I'm saying, I don't understand for me, I'm always seeking us out to a degree, right? I mean, I'm like, hey, ain't nobody else gonna give you a hand, so I'm gonna come and work with you. Right. You know what I mean? I'm always, just me personally, right? And so that's always stuck with me and kind of blew my mind of, why. And for years, I've still been in that circle trying to wonder, and I come across people every now and then that say similar, maybe not to the same degree that he was talking about. And so my question goes back to, why is that? You know what I mean? Or what is it that, what makes it difficult to work, at least in our community, because think about it like this, some other communities, they work with their community because of language. Right. Right? If I'm Asian or Latino or it's easier to talk in the language sometimes. That's why they pick it. Right. They don't really have a choice because they both speak the same language, Yep. But like I said, I'm throwing back at y'all and throwing to the philosopher. You know what I mean? Take my story, what I just told y'all about Homeboy. You know what I mean?
And I actually think that actually happens a lot, to where, people kind of dictate where they go. And I find that with the high middle income to upper income, right? Couples, guys, whatever the case may be, they want to know kind of what's the minority mix. And it's not necessarily because they want to be around more minorities. They're looking to try to be around less. And I think a lot of that has to do with stereotypes. But the way I kind of look at it is it's kind of the yin and the yang. You take the good with the bad, because probably just as many people that don't want to be around minority or don't want to do business with minority professionals, there are people out there that would seek it. And they would jump over, they would jump over the others just to do business with, quote unquote, their people, right? Yeah. So I think it's just one of those things. It's kind of like being in the line at the club. You can't necessarily get mad at, the people for skipping the line, you know what I'm saying? Because they know somebody inside the club. Because eventually we'll get to the point where we know somebody and we're going to be able to skip the line. So you're saying what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? What you think, philosopher?
Y'all are wild. Solid discussion, solid topics, fellas. The issue with why we struggle with working with one another is, number one, we don't have enough confidence in one another. You know, we don't believe that we know what in the world we are doing. Because if we was on have you ever, when you go to a regular 9 to 5 job and you're so quote unquote you're getting trained by one of your own, when that happens, you feel like, okay, you're giving me the shortcuts, you're giving me the way to get around it, you're trying to tell me the best way to make it easier for me, not necessarily the way that it's supposed to be done. And that is the look, and that is the way it has seemed for us as a people since the beginning of time. And the next thing about that is when we are doing it right, when we are dotting the I's, crossing the T's, closing the deal like how we should, we get that other stereotype is, oh, you just over the top. You're doing too much. You acting like something you're not. So we have to fight not only the bad stereotype, we got to fight the good one too and say, well, look, I have a responsibility to come and let you know how this works and what this is. At that point, it's up to you to decide whether you think I'm doing it right or wrong. And if you have enough confidence in yourself, if you have enough wherewithal to say, look, he's doing his job like how he should, it's not my responsibility to judge him on it because you don't know. And that's the next thing about it. People, we don't understand what it is to be a professional and to work with one. We all in this room had to learn how to become a professional at what we do. You know, we still kind of lackadaisical about it. But at the end of the day, once we figure out how to do it, then we know what we're doing, and then we can attract other professionals as far as people who are seeking out professionalism. Mm-hmm. And once we're doing that, then it's simple. But you still deal with those, like how you had in your story, that I just want to deal with the others because I just feel like the others just know better and know more. And if when that ever happens to me, I look at them and I say, you know what? We got to educate you, Doc. You may think you know, but you really don't, because you're allowing not logic to make your decision, but you're allowing how you feel. You feel like that I don't know what I'm doing because I'm black. You feel like because there'll be a bunch of black people, it's going to be hood. That's what you feel. But if you take the time to go back, even in our own hood neighborhoods, you know what I'm saying? I'm from Fifth Ward, Texas, and I can show you some spots where it's jacked up, but then I can show you a beautiful community where everybody cut their grass. The houses get painted every 3 years. Mm-hmm. The cars are not sitting in the yard full of oil and all this type. I can show you that in Fifth Ward, and you're like, wow, that's nice. Yes, it is. Because
they got older people there, you know what I'm saying? They take pride in ownership, you know what I'm saying? They represent.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Once you learn it, then you can handle it and you know how to do it going forward. Do you have the youngsters who just don't really understand? Yeah, you do. But that's just a part of life. You can't say, you know what I'm saying? The non-minorities, like, before they were distinguished, that like they didn't do some stupid things or act like they didn't give a care about whatever was going on. They did the same thing. That's just a part of growing up.
Yeah. And I agree with you, philosopher. I think that you hit a lot of good points, even though you plugged your neighborhood. I saw you plug your
neighborhood.
You
know what I'm saying? He's from the Chi.
You gotta represent.
You gotta represent. I'm from Chi-Town.
Him and the pop, you know what I'm saying?
But the other question I'd ask you, you know, and I'm gonna throw this over here to the money man real quick, is why do we allow, like as a group, why do we allow that to continue to live on? Like, why do we allow those stereotypes to stay in existence? Because, you know, like I said, look, we have Barack, right?
Right.
You know, and I point that out because that's the highest level you could get in our world as president of the United States, right? Mm-hmm. And he was the first. He won't be the last. Mm-hmm. But we had him, right? And so that you would think that once you see somebody of our nature up there, that it would make us all say, okay, maybe things are a little different. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of things we still got to work on, but all right, if we can get this guy up here, you know what I'm saying? And granted, we just talking about burger joints and what you call it here, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I honestly think it's always going to be experiences. And that is going to be the Achilles heel of this whole ideological shift, if you will. And the reason I think it is because we're going to consistently try to run into issues with trying to do business specifically with people of just ourselves. I think we have to try to do a little bit more research and get better about that, and just trying to pick a quality person for the job that they do and for how good they are at their position, instead of just saying I'm willing to do anybody just because they look like me. I got a great example. A friend of my mom's, a real good friend of my mom's, and she's an older lady. She's 50, 55, 58, somewhere around there. And she does business with nobody but people that look like her. And she has unfortunately, been screwed over and over again. She hired AC man to come out. He just kind of does this half-ass job, and charges her the money, and then won't come back out to fix it when it doesn't hold up, or it wouldn't come out to see what's going on with it. The grass man that actually keeps changing prices on her, you know what I'm saying, trying to take advantage of her because she's a widow, and it's just her. So I think with those experiences, she wants to specifically do business with people that's like her. But through those experiences, you have to kind of understand, well, maybe I don't want to do certain type of business with people that look like me. Maybe I'll try other at this point. So I can't necessarily fault them for that. Although, you know what I'm saying, we want to try to encourage people to try to do business and not stereotype that person, because that person could be the best at his job. Yeah. And you don't want to kind of cut yourself off from a blessing just because, you know what I'm saying, you sitting here, thinking about the bad experience that you had in the past. So I think, as people, we just have to do a better job of researching the actual quality and the job that the person does, as opposed to what they look like.
That is true, man. And that falls back on us just being lazy, man. Even though we want to do business with ourselves, right? But we won't even take the time to say, well, ask you, how long you been doing this? Why did you decide to do this? Or, do you want to cut my grass? That's cool. How much you going to try to cut my grass? Are you going to do this? Or are you going to do this? Including that. We have got to feel like, stop thinking that we're going to shortchange us because it's us. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We got that bad. I can honestly say I do this a lot, and I've been working on this a lot. Like, when I see mom say, man, you going to take care of that for me, man? That's my favorite line. Are you going to take care of that for me? Yeah. They're going to take care of that for me. I'm going to take care. You going to take care of that for me? Yeah. And I do it a lot because it just comes out of me. That's just part of the environment that I grew up in, is that I want my people to take care of me and give me extra just for the bare minimum.
That's a great point.
And then
the benefit of being your people,
right? Yes. And then what I would do is, like, when a person would give me a price on something, I'm like, dang, you kind of high. But I don't know how much something, whatever it is. I'm just saying you high because I don't want to pay that amount of money. You know what I'm saying? So I can honestly say we do this as a people because, number one, we don't research, and then we gotta say, you know what? He trying to take care of his family too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, if his price is a little bit higher, okay, cool. Whatever his reasoning for having it, all right. Because there are some responsibilities that come along with what we do. I've learned just in the business that we're in, like, how do you explain costs? You be like, look, this cost this because of that. Back in the day, when you could be able to put back in the day, you should be able to do a 1,500 square foot home flooring for like $3,500. That same floor now is $45. And I'm like, dang. Just last year, this was this. Oh, yeah, the cost of it went up because of the tariff tax from China. Because, you know what I'm saying? You just realize the economics of everything that we do. And who has to fit the bill at the end? It's the consumer. So as a consumer, I understand now that the price that I think I want to pay or that I'm trying to pay, I may not get that. But that does not make that price not fair. That does not make that price not right. And we got to understand that as a people.
So I got a question for you real quick, philosopher, based off what you just said there. But would you say that same statement to anyone else? Or is it just when you're dealing with your people?
Just when I deal with my own people, though. Yeah. And I struggle with that. I struggle with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just thinking, like, you my people, so you're going to take care of me. And I just feel like I'm entitled because I'm going to use you. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we do, and like I said, I'm going to be the first to say I do that. And I do it unconsciously because I've done it for so long.
Right. And I think that's a great point. that you hit on right there, because a lot of us do that. We'll go down the street to a other and pay full price, but want a discount and feel like the other person that look like us is trying to screw us over for wanting full price.
Yeah, and I'm like, I got it. You just inside, you like, man, I got to do better than that, man. You know what I'm saying? He worked just so hard for a little low pocket check.
They're trying to fill his family. Trying to feed his family.
Trying to fill their family just like.
But Chip said, let me play devil's advocate for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Okay. When we do run into these opportunities where we do run into somebody that says, hey, look, you trying to feed your family, you want full price, I get it. I'd rather do business with you because you look like me. I'm going to give you full price. We can't half-ass the job.
Yes.
No, we can't.
We can't half-ass the job. You know what I'm saying? So in order to kind of try to start this shift, I think, you know what I'm saying, we got to be able to do better.
We got to do better
ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And then I think once the experiences change, then, you know, it kind of changed the stereotypes a little bit.
Like my the guy who cuts my grass now, he actually, I met him through my daughter's basketball. He started cutting grass. I told him to come cut some grass for me. He took care of a couple of projects for me. And when he come through, I say, look, Malcolm, this is what I want right here. I want blase. How much? Oh man, it's gonna be 100. I said, okay, cool. I give him his money before he touches my yard. Like, here you go. And that's me saying, well, look, I'm gonna trust you to do how I want you to do it and do a great job because I'm gonna pay you now. So you ain't gotta wait for your money. You ain't gotta hunt me down. You ain't gotta be like, I ain't finna go out there with a fine man. You ain't trim that, slice that right there. I want that cut before and hold your money hostage. I said, here you go, man. I gave you the money. Dog. Go ahead and do what you need to do. And at that moment, that makes me feel better because you know what? That's me trying to change that leaf in his eye. So you know what? I'm going to trust that you're going to do a good job, and I know you're going to do a good job. So I'm going to give you what's yours because you just deserve it, and it hasn't let me down since.
I agree, but it has let me down. It has let me down, and it pissed me off to the highest festivity because I was that guy. Say, hey, look, man, you know what I'm saying? Everybody in this neighborhood look one way, you know what I'm saying? This cat right here, you know what I'm saying? He come through, retired cat, you know what I'm saying? He come through to get his money, man, you know what I'm saying? He just trying to make a little bit of pocket change. I'm going to get this cat, right? So I give him the job, man, come on through, you know what I'm saying? Call him on Tuesday, hey man, you know, I need my grass cut, man, you know what I'm saying? You know, when you think you can come out? Oh man, and then, you know, that's another thing, but which top by itself, when black people start talking about, get scared. Get scared, because, you know what I'm saying, it's finna be some shit. All right, but anyway, back on topic, right? So when he said, how come, I could probably get down there late Wednesday. Okay, cool. All right. Now, mind you, Wednesday passed. Thursday passed. Okay, you know what I'm saying? He ain't come Thursday. Okay, maybe he'll come Friday. Friday passed. Ain't come. So then I call him Saturday morning. Man, I'm sorry, man. I've been trying to get around there. This, that, and the third. And I'm just like, dude, it was the most commonsensical thing. If you can't show up or you can't be there when you say you're gonna be there, at least let the person know.
Exactly.
Or at least say something. Don't let 3 days pass and you ain't said nothing. I have to contact you for you to give me some bullshit excuse.
Yeah.
And I think that's the other thing is that, you know what I'm saying, like right there, that's a bad experience. So it's going to be tough for me to get over that hump. You know what I'm saying? And again, that reverts back to my point is we got to do better, man. Of course. Especially if we tell somebody we're going to be there 2 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? And show up at 3 o'clock or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And we ain't gave no notice. We ain't gave no heads up. We ain't said nothing. We ain't said boo. We just gonna show up and hope they don't notice we about an hour late. You know what I'm saying? So I think, you know what I'm saying, you know, again, all this stuff comes down to education, man. If we knew better, we'll do better. But I'm not saying not to do business with your own people. Now, I'm not saying that. Before them haters start, you know what I'm saying? Spamming.
Like you said, the biggest thing would come down to everybody has to do better. You know what I mean? And that includes people that's out there because we done blanketed a lot of people. Mm-hmm. There are people out there that's doing their job. Right. Like they say, I'm gonna be there at 2 o'clock. They there at 1:55. They already look. They done turn the edge on. They started before you even came out the door. I like them people because I be like, oh, the Lord people here. And I don't be talking about Oh, they early. Okay. You know what I mean? I might look. I'm bringing them some bottled water, so I'm bringing them a little extra. But so there is people out there that's doing it at a high level.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing that I would leave with, or that I would put on the table is goes back to the philosopher, what he kind of said, which is you got to educate yourself on the person you're working with.
Mm-hmm.
I can't assume either way. Right?
Right.
So my job for what I'm trying to get is I need to ask. So if I'm trying to work with the money man on a deal, on a loan, I need to ask as many questions as I can to make me feel good about you. And not be worried, not just go off your appearance or anything. Literally just be like, hey, how long you been doing loans? Okay, what do you bring to the table for me?
Right.
How can you help me best?
Right.
And, like I said, I'd love at some point where we ain't even talking about this. And people just working with people because they met them, and they like them, and they trust them, and they like, hey, let's handle business. You sell real estate, you do loans, you do this, you do that. You cut grass. You done greeted me at the Burger King over by the airport over there at George Washington. You done said, I'd love for it to just kind of be that way.
Yep.
But there's going to be some work that need to be put in on both sides of the table. The side that's doing the work and the people that are getting the work.
The consumer. Yeah, the actual consumer.
We got to have to be better consumers.
But look, in this day and age, and it's only going to get better, it is the easiest to do research on anybody that you do business with. Not when you got Google out there and you got reviews. Trust me, if somebody doing a horrible job, you will know about it.
Yeah, and the world would know about it.
The world would know about it. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're dealing with JoJo and them, that that decided yesterday that they was gonna start a company. You know what I'm saying? They just done pile in the truck. Now they gonna go out there and start doing stuff, doing construction. Then you know what I'm saying? Maybe you can't find research on them.
But even then, that makes you say, okay, I'm educated enough to know that you ain't did no business yet. Or maybe you ask them, do you have any personal referrals that I can call past clients?
And never be afraid to ask for personal referrals, references. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, they feel like, oh, that's intrusive for me to ask for references. No. You know what I'm saying? Look, I need to call and see who's some people you need to be working with. I need to make sure they ain't your cousins. Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? Your mom and your dad. I need to make sure they legit consumers, like customers. Right. But at least now, you know what I'm saying? If I ask you for some references and you start hemming and hawing, you don't want to give me no people. Okay, well, you know what I'm saying? I can't do business with you then. You just move on. Yeah. You just shot yourself in the foot, and I didn't shoot you in the foot just because of what you look like. You know what I'm saying? So especially now, man, it's just the craziest. It's the craziest thing.
All right, so check this out. Since y'all went on this, I think it was a 15-minute discussion about Chick-fil-A, and I sat here and listened to both of y'all just go all in on the Chick-fil-A.
Hey, we take a sponsorship from Chick-fil-A while you at it. I'll take some of them chicken minis.
I've been to Chick-fil-A a couple of times. I'm not a Chick-fil-A guy. I can admit that. I don't like their prices, and their chicken is pretty tasty, but it just ain't good enough for me to go through that like y'all do. But the one thing about the Chick-fil-A employees...
Hold on. Did they get your order wrong?
No.
Oh, okay, just making sure.
Okay.
That ain't happening.
The
one thing is this. When you guys were talking about the customer service that Chick-fil-A provides, because they look for a certain type of employee, you know what I'm saying? That employee that they're looking for, you won't see them in my hood or in your hood, because that type of personality is frowned upon amongst us.
Yes.
That is frowned upon. When you're that friendly, that's considered to be soft. And Chick-fil-A is looking for a genuine friendly person that does not have a problem saying, how may I serve you? Yeah. Because that word serving is a deep word that if you don't know it and understand it, dog, you will feel like you're less than the person that's across that counter. Because they're like, man, I'm not serving you, man. What do you think you are? You ain't Christ. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's what the thought process of it is. So when you go to Chick-fil-A, I can be honest with you, there's not a lot of us in there.
It's not. But when we are in there, we represent strong.
And we are in there, and I'm going to tell you another thing. When we are in there, they're not from where we're from.
Oh, I'd agree with that. I'd agree with that.
You want me to tell you who they are? They're our children. My son is working there. Your son is working there. Your son's gonna be working there soon. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because of what we know, and we didn't. Our children weren't raised in the place that we were raised. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna show them something different. We're gonna show them and say, "Thank you. How you doing?" When you get that person, Shaniqua, what you want? You know what I'm saying? You're like, yeah, let me get such and such, such. Thank you. All right, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna hear us say that, but they're gonna look at them like, Dad, what's wrong with us?
Yeah, because they always got an attitude. It's like, what you mad at? What you mad at? You at work? What you gonna be taking my order? What you come to work for? You should have called in sick. I got to pay my light bill. It ain't my fault you got a light. Hey, it ain't my fault you got $300 light bill because you at home more than what? Hey man, you be at the window. Hey man, I forgot to say no onions. Always sucking teeth. They gotta take them. They don't mind showing it on their face that they upset with you right now. Yeah. I didn't mind you override. Tamika, I need you to come override this. It's like, come on, man. Like, come on. And the funny thing about the manager, come look at them like, you don't know how to take their order? And it's like, they ain't saying like that. They can tell me right now at the window.
I was Jack and they was having a full on. That's the other thing. That happened at a Chick-fil-A. Okay. And
I keep telling you, did you not hear what I told you?
We had the Chick-fil-A. Look, they're working in synchronized motion. My man got some ice. He passed it over with the cup. The old girl, she hit the drink. She got them filled. The bag slide through on the thing. They come on. Look, as soon as slide, like they slide in their hand, and they just jump right on and be like, and thank you for your. It'd be so smooth, right? Man, look. And it'd be like 4 or 5 of them right there in the window. But they all know their space. They got their space, right?
And they all know what they supposed to be doing.
I was at Jack in the Box once. I thought they was going to box. It was a full-on argument. It was like 3 people in the whole stove. And they was mad. You got it wrong. You got it wrong. And they was literally arguing. This is what was happening in one of them 50-50 neighborhoods I was talking about. I was driving through. I was just grab something and keep moving. Right?
Is that the store where you got the messed up milkshake and the burger? So it's the back half of the store. They argued in the window.
They argued. And look, and I'm sitting there looking at them at the window. This is going on for 45 minutes. This car's behind me, like no regard for, and it's funny, we laughing about it, of course, but when you really dig deep into some of these, that's kind of the difference between a lot of these places, is, they on a timer. They're supposed to have all this stuff done in a certain amount of time. Every fast food restaurant has a timer, because that's how they measure their customer service. So if I'm sitting at the window for 5 minutes, that goes against their numbers, right? And I'm sitting there at the point that they'd allow that to happen.
You want to know why they allowed it to happen?
And then look, the order was still wrong.
But remember I told you that about the idea that that's soft when you're like that? Yeah. So when they got into it, right, the chick who got the order wrong, you not finna talk to me no kind of way. You ain't finna talk to me. I don't care. You ain't finna talk to me. Manager's gonna say, well, look, I'm gonna correct you. But she don't know how to correct nobody without making them feel like they about yay big. Because that's the only way we know how to correct people, make them feel about this small. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that is a true example of us as a people and how we talk to each other. You know what I'm saying? We have got to learn how, okay, if I have a problem with you, I got to understand, okay, you're still a human being. I still have respect for you. It ain't my responsibility to make you feel this. It's my responsibility to tell you, look, this was the problem. I need this fixed. Mm-hmm. Her responsibility is not to say, well, I ain't fixing the goddamn thing. You ain't for telling me no kind of way. And you need to understand that I'm not talking to you that way. We don't know that when a person is correcting us, don't mean that they trying to step on it. They're just trying to tell you how it's supposed to be. And we got to be able to accept that, and we cannot accept that.
I find this ironic coming from the philosopher that talked to people all kinds of ways around this joint. Hey, look, I need that hotel man say, go ahead tomorrow.
Yeah, I get
about 3 o'clock. I need to talk tomorrow about 3 o'clock. And then now he was talking about we gotta learn how to talk to them.
He got mad at me because I talk to his title people like that. I'm like, look, man, we gonna use my title people, man. I'm like, what?
Hey man, how you gonna sit here and be the preacher about, you know what I'm saying, respecting each other, you know what I'm saying, not making each other feel like yay big, and that's the way you run business.
He said you run title company like
huh?
I told the title company, like, look, I need A, B, and C, and I need it by 9 a.m. because we're trying to make sure we got the right numbers for a deal. You know what I'm saying? You finna get paid, I'm finna get paid.
So whatever happened to, and we learned this in school, right? Whatever happened to asking politely, may I please? Can I please?
You know what I think is important in this.
Now, if I was on the phone with, hold on, when I got on the phone with your chick, I was like, yeah, may I please? I need to have such and such. My name is this. I'm working with Corey. He had told me to know what I wanted to do. Can you please get these things together for me? Yo, you gave me the wrong chick. You gave me the marketing chick first. So the marketing chick got the good stuff. The next chick behind that, because it didn't come the way I wanted to, got the rest of it.
So that makes it right because she was second in line? Is that what you trying to say?
Hey, check this out. I got hold to the next chick it's about 7 o'clock, dog. I'm trying to put a deal together. We was in the middle of a dog fight for a deal, and I felt like if I had the accurate numbers, I would have beat it. So I had to have it. That's why I deal with my own people. My own people know how I do it.
Oh, that's right. Oh, you do with your own people because they take your disrespect?
I call Natalie right now. Natalie, I need such. Okay. And then she gonna talk crazy when we get to see each other though.
That's just working relationships.
Hey, what point you was about to make, closing?
I wasn't making no point. I made my parents.
Ooh, parents.
Parents and mom. Once I talked about I'm having still thoughts about the Jack in the Box when they messed up. How you mess up a shake?
I remember I thought about the shake when you was down at 59. So he said,
I was so mad. And I didn't test it before I left. You get that first little sip. I had just put it in the car. I hit the highway because I had been driving the whole time. I'm like, let me get back on this highway so I still got another stop. Minutes to stop.
And then you got to stop in between that too. You be like, man.
And I'm like, but I was starving. See, and that's the other side of it too, right? Is I don't think we pay attention to each other.
What you mean?
Because, like, when I talk to people, when I see somebody in the office, let's say I'm walking through the office, I see somebody, I can tell their demeanor just by looking at them. I can see if they're holding their head down, or they ain't feeling, they're frustrated, they're sweating, whatever it is, right? And you could probably tell in that moment when I was at that window that I was already kind of, I guess, frazzled. It would be the best way.
Irritated.
Because I was on some, like I said, I had just hit 2 other appointments. I've been in the car for like 2 hours on the road. Ooh, I still got another hour or so that I'm driving work, and I ain't ate nothing. So
you hangry.
Man.
and muscles aching.
This is what's so funny about it. And so I make the order, and I turn on the Walter Professional. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, hey, well, they get on the thing. Hey, what you need? What's your order? And I'm like,
already on the wrong foot.
And look, I ain't paying no mind to it. I went on right past. I was like, I'm looking at the menu, and I think it was number 6 or something, number 7.
Hey, which I don't mean to stop you, but I'm saying which is a problem within itself because when you pull up to that window, you already expecting bad customer service. So you know what I'm saying? When you get it, it's just like, man, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way it is.
But that's what's funny about it is when I pulled into the thing, okay, when I made the turn to go into the drive-thru, I already knew what I was getting, but I was so hungry. If I wasn't as hungry,
he would have got away with Chick-fil-A.
I would have drove to the next. I would have drove because I was only about 7 miles from the where you kind of get the, what I'm saying, when you kind of get out of the 50-50. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Okay, he on 59, so The only way he got out the 50-50 if he came back and went towards Humble. So you coming back towards this way, you still in Greens Point.
You gotta remember, I had whipped up 50. I was hitting Beltway.
Beltway 8.
And I was about to hit Beltway. You hit Beltway,
you could have been in Greens Point.
I could have hit all kind. I could have hit Chick-fil-A.
Wait up, Chick-fil-A in Greens Point.
I could have hit, huh?
Is it Chick-fil-A in Greens Point?
No, but I could have.
It's close. It's one close.
Willowbrook and all that. Like, I could have went to the mall. I could have went to, like, Boudreaux's or something. I was starting to get to where restaurants were.
Right.
You know what I mean? I had options. I could stop off there real quick, grab some, put it in, and jump back and keep moving. And something told me, don't stop at this Jack in the Box. It told me, and I did it anyway.
Uh-huh.
But I knew as soon as I came up. You know what I mean? But you would think they'd be nicer.
Yeah, you would think so.
So I supplement that by saying this. I went there and had that experience. Just the other day, I ain't going to name the restaurant, but I was like talking on the phone. Look, I'm talking on the phone. They outside. They waiting at the window nicely.
Really?
And then as soon as I hung up, I was like, thank you. I hung up the phone. And I was like, how are you doing, sir? Oh, I'm doing good. Well, I'm here to serve you. What would you like to order today?
What was that, Chick-fil-A?
I wasn't going to name no name.
Come on, dog. You know who was that.
I'm going to tell you, look, it made my whole... I was just having a frustrating call. Look, I started smiling. I was like, well, how your day going? It changed the whole mood.
And they out there in the sun waiting.
And they out there in the heat. Hey, the cat was out there by the window and took his thumb and wiped sweat from his forehead and kept saying, no problem, sir. Anything else I can get for you today? I'm like, goodness gracious. I tell you one thing.
Can you go do it?
This is so, do what?
Can you go do it?
No. but that's exactly why I ain't working at. But I tell you this. This is contradicted to everything that we talked about and try to promote on this episode. But if you pull up to a McDonald's or a Jack in the Box and there's a line, chances are you're going to keep pushing. Oh, that's going to be forever. It's going to be forever before they get to me. You pull up to a Chick-fil-A line, that thing could be wrapped all the way into the main road. You be like, oh, this ain't going to take long.
Dog, I
get right in line.
Dog, I had 10 cars in front of me.
Hey,
but we went for that line just the other day. What I'm talking about, what I just said.
Yes.
And it was the double line.
Yes.
So it was 4 people this way.
Yes.
And then it was another 5 or 6 wrapped getting to the window.
Yeah.
But see, they took it to the next level with them people. So what ended up happening? Look, traffic work. You ever been on the road, you trying to get over to the next lane, and nobody want to let you in? Look, they be letting you in. Look, they be on the other side. They be like, hey, they let you come in front because they know it's an order.
Yes.
And look, them cars was going through that.
Was humping.
I don't think I was in that line for more than 4 minutes.
Come on, man.
Hey, I went to the one off of 59 in Kirby.
Huh?
Now, you know there ain't no parking over there, right? They had it running mighty efficient. They had the double lanes with the double cashiers and the double pickups.
Dog, they got it.
I was the thing with the little shoot, poof, like the bank. I was waiting. Where to shoot at?
Hey, look, they got the system down pat. And then if they get held up because they still back there trying to get some tenders or some fries or something like that, please pull up next to the red window, to the next red umbrella. We'll bring your food out to you. And they're going to have your sauces and everything on point.
And everything. And then thank you.
Yes.
And complete. Is there anything else I can get for you? Look, they done came out in this heat and dropped this on to you. But if you said, hey, you know what?
I need some more Polynesian sauce.
Chick-fil-A sauce. Hold on 1 second. They run back in and get you some more Chick-fil-A sauce.
Come on, man. Hey, look, sauce. Hey, look, man. Which is good. Hey, look, I tell you what, they got some pessimistic people out there that don't understand what we saying. Pull up to Jack in the Box, get up there and ask them for some buttermilk sauce and see how well reaction you get. See what reaction you. Come on, man. Come on. And here you go, and they only give you one. Damn, can I get another one? It's like, come on, man. Let me stand with the sauces.
Look, I know where I be asking. I know we just blowing Chick-fil-A up. You ask, they be like, oh, well, how many? I say, well, they say any sauces. "Oh, can I have some barbecue sauce?" Well, how many did you need?
Yes.
Give me 2 barbecues. Was there any other sauces you need?
Yes.
Yeah, give me some Chick-fil-A sauce. Well, how many of those would you like, sir?
Hey, look, man. Hey, look. I'm finna go to Chick-fil-A. Let's wrap this up, dog.
How about this? If they start saying, we're encouraging tipping, would you tip?
Would I tip? Probably not, because I'm a cheapskate. But in theory, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I can see why people would tip. Absolutely. It's worth it. It's good customer service. That's just like a waiter.
I just feel like Chick-fil-A a great business model. I'll encourage tipping.
That's funny what you said, though. But real quick on a half note, I drink a lot of smoothies from Jamba Juice since we look for sponsors and any sponsors at Jamba Juice, right? And then when I first went there, I never tipped. Because you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, right?
Right.
But then you start to know people. And the first time they said my name, that's what I mean about people. And it's just about the customer service, like doing the education. They asked enough about me. They'd ask me, well, what do you want in this smoothie? And why is that? And what are you trying to get out of these smoothies? Right? Mm-hmm. And I tell them, and they give me recommendations. Well, then, about the second, third time I walk in, they're like, hey, Walter, do you want to go ahead with that, which one I'm doing, that slim and trim, so-and-so, so-and-so? Mm-hmm. And I'll be like, no, you know what, today I'm going to start with this one. But you know what? As I look back at it right now, since that day, I've always put a tip in. Uh-huh. Just for that little bit of extra customer service.
Absolutely.
And I just don't think about it. I just be like, all right.
Man, attitudes and smiles are contagious. And it's amazing what one question could actually do for a person's attitude. How you doing today?
Yeah.
Or how can I help you today?
I'm good.
Hey, man, you ain't got to be the most social or talkative person. It's just one question, man. Could turn the whole landscape of that transaction. Yeah. Real talk takeaways, man. What you got?
I'm good.
What you got, philosopher? Real talk takeaways, man.
Hey, man, this is some solid stuff, Doc. I'm glad we was able to really try to misspell, trying to debunk some misconception amongst us as a people. Realizing that we all make mistakes and we all have a lot of shortcomings, and that's what we want the people to know, that we don't seem like we know everything or we act like we know everything, but we do want to get better, and we want to encourage everyone else to try to get better. And it's one of these podcasts this is no specific topic, it's just something that just came about. We hope that it helped out and enlighten your spirit.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Close. What you got?
I think these was always fun, you know what I mean? Because it's just talking like we was in the barbershop or we in the room in the office just talking amongst friends like we do all the time. I think my most important takeaway I would say for this is that hopefully we get to a point where it don't matter, what race, ethnicity, any of that information that comes about, that in regards to asking for people to help you, right? But I would say this for now, is no matter who you search out, dig a little bit deeper. Ask more questions. Don't be afraid of your particular people that look like you. But just ask more questions. Because if you are in fear of doing business that way, and they're the first person at your door, ask more questions, because you'll be surprised sometimes that you'll find a gem or somebody that's really in it for as much about you as you are about you. And sometimes even more. Yeah. I think what happens is a lot of times we miss out on people that truly love what they do and will take it to the next level because they look like us. And we say, we're going to go somewhere else.
Right.
So I just say dig a little deeper and trust the information, mm-hmm. Not your feeling. You're not your initial feeling.
Right. My thing is that you never want to judge a book by its cover. You always want to make sure you kind of peel back those layers to get the inner workings of it. That is going to help you make a better decision about who you should and should not be doing business with, regardless of what they look like. I always think it's a great thing to talk to multiple professionals. I think even if there's a topic to where you want to do business with somebody, you talk to multiple professionals. Each professional is going to give you the education that you need for you to understand if, somebody's leading you down the right way or not. As well, you can easily go to any computer and research and find out so much information. You just have to put in the legwork to see if you're dealing with an idiot. If you let him talk long enough, he will expose himself as an idiot because a lot of the stuff he will say, it won't make sense. So, you know what I'm saying? If you're asking questions, you're allowing him to unwind, unloosen, and then show the actual person that they are. So be sure to make sure not to judge a book by its cover. Make sure you research, and then don't be afraid to ask for references. And then let idiots be idiots. Appreciate y'all for tuning in today. We're going to wrap this thing up. Make sure y'all like and subscribe and follow us and comment and all that other good stuff. This was kind of a free-for-all topic, which actually came out to be some good information.
Do this a couple more times every now and
then. Yeah, we do. And you know what I'm saying? Best believe Chick-fil-A, we're going to be in contact about sponsorship. And at Smoothie King about sponsorship. We always looking for sponsors. Outside of that, we'll catch y'all on the next one. Later.
All right. Stop. Is it stop or the red button again?